Hello everyone, I'm Ben Lombard. I am the representative for the Underdogs versus Discovery. I am also the one spearheading the Discovery initiative, for which we have now started approaching Parliament for assistance. Okay, my story starts in 2002 when I took out a policy with Discovery. It was a life policy and it had rare disease cover. Everything was fine. In 2005, after we moved from Durban to Cape Town, I do recall I experienced a severe pain in the chest, which at the time I thought was only a severe case of heartburn, but it didn't subside for quite some time. It stayed around and it was painful for probably 2 or 3 days, if I can recall, to the best of my ability. Took medication, well, over-the-counter stuff. Didn't bother to go to the doctor. A couple of weeks later, because we have moved to Cape Town, I discussed it with my wife and decided that it is time to take out additional insurance, just because we're trying to make everything grow a little bit more, and things were going pretty well with us in Cape Town. So it was only then when I submitted my policies to Discovery, and it was only then that they requested that I should go for a stress ECG as well. I had no problem with that. I had no problem. Blood tests, I had no problem, because I'm not a sickly person. I don't have, even today, I don't have a cholesterol problem. I don't have a sugar problem. I don't have a blood pressure problem. Nothing. And for the best part, I don't even drink a headache tablet if need be. This hand here, I broke on a guy pointing a gun at me in the Natal Midlands. I walked around for about 3 weeks. It started swelling up. I just thought it was sprained. And it's only later, when it started popping open and didn't look good, that I decided to go to the doctor and found that it was broken at 2 different places. Anyway, just to give you a bit of background. So when I lodged a rare disease claim at the time, it was only then that when I went to the doctor and they discovered that I had this heart attack, I then wanted to claim from Discovery, and their response was that the claim was not severe enough to warrant a payment, a claim, settlement. So I left it at that, but in 2017, when I tried to take out another claim, another insurance with a different company, and I did the right thing. I disclosed this heart attack, which was only discovered in 2005, and because Discovery made it off to be a mild heart attack, I just write down silent heart attack. And the insurance company response was that it was in actual fact a level C, silent myocardial infarction, and that if they had to give me cover for that, they would have to load my premium by 90%. This came as quite a surprise to me, and I wrote to Discovery, did not get any response there, referred the matter to the Ombudsman at the time. So once I've done that, the Ombudsman appointed their own medical expert Dr. Peter Kutzer. Dr. Peter Kutzer confirmed the heart attack that I reported to have had experienced in 2005. However, the doctor, with, I don't know what legal expertise he has, or background he has, then suggested that that I should prove that I never had this heart attack prior to 2002 when this policy was approved. Bear in mind, I did all the medical checks in 2002, whatever they required. They did not require ECG then. So, yet again, I did not look at the fine print. I do criminal work. I don't really sit and read the fine print. I need stronger glasses for that. And, well, in actual fact, you need a magnifying glass for that. So, I left it again. Blew over, and only a couple of months ago, talking to another insurance broker, he said, but you should have been paid out. And he suggested that I send everything to him to have a look. But then it really sparked my interest more than ever before. So I did look at everything, and I looked at the whole situation, and I started doing some research and found some decided cases, case law, indicating that the onus does not rest upon me to prove that when I had this heart attack, but it is in actual fact for the insurer to investigate or to prove otherwise. So once again, I wrote to Discovery, and their response to me was, sorry, matter closed. I decided to take the matter on again and refer it back to the Ombudsman for review. And for that reason and for that purpose, I compiled this little booklet. It has everything in there, all the doctor's reports, the case law, my original policy, everything is in there. Now, before this, I have all my communication. I have also sent to Mr. Adrian Gore, Mr. Rian van Rienen, and Mr. Hein Hemman, all from Discovery. So they've been sitting still, and out of the blue, through this whole thing, I also, when Discovery this time said to me, matters closed, I turned to social media and I expressed my dissatisfaction with Discovery. Lo and behold, a lot of people came forward, and I can tell you, with less than 10 people, the underdogs, there's a total of R1 billion that's been repudiated by Discovery. And it's the same pattern, it's the same modus operandi, it's the same way, excuse and delays and everything. So, yeah, in the meantime, when I started on social media, Mr. George van Niekerk from ENS sent me ENS Africa, representing Discovery, their lawyer, sent me letters to say that I'm busy defaming certain individuals, and also Discovery, that I should delete all videos from social media, and they are considering taking legal action against me. They also said that I should only communicate with him and no longer with Adrian Gore and the others. I responded to Mr. George van Niekerk to say that I am definitely not of any intention. I have no intention of defaming anybody. I am stating facts. Whatever I've done up to now is based on facts. And I actually said to him that I am in actual fact the whistleblower in this case. I received 2 lawyers' letters. Those were a couple of months ago, and then it dried up. I continue CCing them, including them in all my correspondence. Mr. Adrian Gore, Mr. Rian van Reen, and Mr. Heineman is zipped. You don't hear from them. You don't see them. They are not there. But in the corridors, they write little letters to their, somebody's writing it. Who it is, I don't know. To all the brokers to say, these are just disgruntled people, don't worry about them. And long story, I've got it. Anyway, that's the story for another day. So, but other than that, their silence has been deafening. So now that I have submitted this, I dropped a copy of this, and this was on the 14th of October. Dropped it off, and one at the Ombudsman, Miss Jenny Jenkins, signed for it. And then also I hand-delivered a copy to ENS Africa for Mr. George van Niekerk's attention. I haven't received any response from either. Until 3 weeks later, there was still nothing. So I've been trying to phone the Ombudsman. I've been trying to email the Ombudsman. The numbers just ring. The emails don't get answered. So I took a bit on myself, and I went to the Ombuds office in Maitland, in Cavendish, near Claremont, near Cavendish Square, and that's where I saw Miss Jenny Jenkins. And 3 weeks later, when I went there to see her again, I was told I must sit. I can't stand around, and please sit and wait. So I waited for a long time for Miss Jenkins to arrive, and she explained to me that the matter has been referred to Ms. Denise Gabriels that will be dealing with it. I requested to see her. She said I must make an appointment. I said, how on earth do I make an appointment? You've got to make an appointment to make an appointment to make an appointment. You can't phone them. You can't email them. They don't respond. It's then when Ms. Jenkins brought it to my attention that, oops, okay, they must have sent the response to the wrong address. I don't know how they do that. It's right at the back. I left my email address. It is in there. Very, very clear for everyone to read. How they make a mistake with that is... And then I discovered that their email address has all changed, and that's why I had to send it to her, to her own email address. The phone numbers on the website are dead. Don't bother. So 3 weeks later, when I went there again and tried to find what's happening, I was told that Ms. Gabriels, Denise Gabriels, is dealing with it personally, and I should make an appointment. I said, I'm making an appointment now. I'm prepared to wait. I know it was late afternoon, but I offered to buy her dinner, a takeaway dinner, but I was not going to leave the premises until I had somebody listening to what I had to say. So after about 45 minutes, Ms. Gabriels showed up. I explained the situation to her. She did say to me that she'll go into it. I wanted her to answer by a certain date. She said they don't work according to deadlines, but she did agree to respond before the 19th of November. I must say she did that. She kept to her word. So last night at 9:23 p.m. I received this email from Ms. Gabriels. I'll read it out to you. Dear Mr. Lombard, I refer to your request for re-evaluation of a 2017 finding of the Ombudsman for Long-Term Insurance, OLTI, in a nutshell. Your application is based on your averment that the Ombudsman erred in its finding by requiring you to prove the myocardial infarction event did not occur prior to 2002. Whereas established authority confirms that the onus to prove exclusions rests on the insurer. It's noted that the complaint is in respect of a declined claim that was lodged in 2005, 20 years ago, and a request for re-evaluation of a finding made more than 8 years ago. Once a final ruling is issued by the Ombudsman, it is functus officio. Pip Friedman would have said, lekker woord die. For those that know Pip Friedman, meaning that it cannot revisit its own decision, even if that decision is flawed. The following extract from judgment of the High Court of South Africa, Eastern Cape, in the matter Safentra, South Africa Pty Limited versus Mark Prince, case number 15 of 2020, explains the principle succinctly. In his judgment, Nange JP succinctly and correctly, in my view, makes the following point. It is trite law that once a court has duly pronounced a final judgment or order, the matter is res judicata and itself has no authority to correct, alter, or supplement it. The reason for that functus officio, its jurisdiction in the case having been fully and finally exercised, its authority over subject matter has ceased. The Judge President importantly places reliance on the main on the pronouncement of a constitutional court in Zondi, when that court stated, under common law, the general rule is that a judge has no authority to amend his or her own final order. The rationale for this principle is twofold. In the first place, a judge who has given a final order is functus officio. Once a judge has fully exercised his or her jurisdiction, his or her authority over the subject matter ceases. The other equally important consideration is the public interest in bringing the litigation to finality. The parties must be assured that once an order of court has been made, it is final, and they can arrange their affairs in accordance with that order. OLT is a predecessor scheme of NFO, and in terms of NFO's rules, a complaint determined by a predecessor scheme is excluded from NFO's jurisdiction. The principle of functus officio, therefore, still applies. Consequently, we cannot re-evaluate the 2017 finding of OLTI and cannot assist any further. It is needless for me to go into the merits of your argument, but as an aside, it appears to me that the declinature of your claim was not based on an exclusion, but rather on lack of proof of the date of the event. I don't know what they're trying to say here, but okay. This is a decided case. This is where the court can't go back on its own finding. There's nothing wrong with the case lawyer. There's a problem with the interpretation thereof. So, and she signs off, yours sincerely, Denise Gabriels, lead Ombud Life Insurance Division. So I've taken some time and I've just mulled over a little bit and decided to respond as follows, which I did at approximately 8 o'clock this morning. This is my reply. I've sent this to Ms. Denise Gabriels. I've also included several office bearers in Parliament. I've also a variety of other people there that I think this may be of interest to. So this is my response. I'll read it out to you. Dear Ms. Gabriels, thank you for your late evening response and for the case law references you provided. After reviewing your reply, several matters of principle and mandate require urgent clarification. These issues go to the core of OLTI, NFO's independence. These people here. Nice little pamphlet. It's not worth the paper it's written on. Parliament is copied for transparency and oversight. Mass characterization of the role of a case law in Ombud determinations. Your response appears to suggest that OLT is constrained or guided in a binding manner by a judicial rulings you cited. Respectively, that interpretation is incorrect. OLTI is not a court, for that matter, I'm just putting that in brackets, is an alternative dispute resolution body, an ADR, and therefore it's not a court, it's not bound by precedent, and it's not required to apply strict legal technicalities. Case law may be considered for guidance, but cannot be treated as compulsory or determinative. Fairness, equity, and reasonableness, not legal technicality, governs OLTI's mandate. OLTI's own official position states the Ombudsman is not bound by legal technicalities and may decide matters based on what is fair and equitable. Your reply, almost exclusively on court judgments, none of which bind OLTI, and omitted fairness, equity, reasonableness, and consumer protection. 3. Selective use, yes sir, yes ma'am, of law creates a perception of bias. Your response referenced only judgments favorable to the insurer, in this case Discovery, while disregarding numerous High Court and Supreme Court of Appeal cases where Discovery Life was criticized, had repudiations overturned, or lost appeals outright. Selective citation creates a legitimate perception of partiality, now under parliamentary oversight. Medical evidence, confirmation of level C myocardial infarction, and applicable case law. OLT's own appointed medical expert confirmed that I suffered a level C, silent myocardial infarction. This triggers well-established case law confirming that the insurer bears a burden of proving materiality, inducement, and factual pre-existence. It's not for me to prove that. Authoritative cases, here they are. PW versus Discovery. Well, 2022. Basdio versus Discovery Life, 2021. And then we have a Peterson versus Old Mutual. The case law you relied upon does not bind OLTI and is not applicable in a restrictive manner implied. Structural independence requires visible impartiality. OLTI is funded by insurers, Discovery, all the other guys, reliant on insurer cooperation and structurally linked to the industry it must regulate. Wow. Visible impartiality is therefore essential. A pattern of insurer-aligned legalism undermines public trust. Clarification requested to prevent misunderstanding or misrepresentation. Please confirm. A. OLTI is not bound by precedent. B. Case law was provided as non-binding guidance only. OLT does not rely on precedent to avoid independent assessment. D. Fairness, equity, and consumer protection remain primary. Selective, you and I. Selective legal reliance creates a perception of bias. 7. Conclusion and reasonable response time. Your reliance on selective case law contradicts OLTI's statutory purpose, undermines fairness, and raises concerns about impartiality. I request a full written response within 10 working days. Failing this, the matter will be escalated further, what's already brought to their notice, and we're working on it within Parliament and other oversight bodies. Repeated legal errors and the need for parliamentary intervention. This is important, everyone. The Ombud has again erred in law, and the pattern is now undeniable. These are not isolated misinterpretations, but it's a consistent sequence only favoring the insurer, which is Discovery in this instance. This undermines OLTI/NFO's credibility and destabilizes public confidence. I'm pretty sure everyone will agree with that. Parliamentary intervention is now essential. Responsibility of the lead ombud and exhaustion of all avenues. The lead ombud bears ultimate responsibility for fairness, legal correctness, and consistency across all NFO divisions. It's placed on record that Mr. George van Niekerk, ENS Africa, duly representing Discovery, received a hand-delivered copy of my booklet, identical to the one OLTI holds, as part of my request for independent review. Discovery has long been in possession of the medical evidence and the legal analysis. Despite this, Discovery attempted every conceivable tactic to avoid settlement, including delay, selective evidence interpretation, and even threatening me with defamation lawsuit. These intimidation tactics have failed. Discovery has now run out of legal, medical, and procedural options, and so is LTI. There's no legal base for continued repudiation, no factual basis for dispute, no procedural justification for delay. The time has come to settle this claim. If Discovery and OLTI refuse, then this matter must proceed before Parliament, where both institutions will be required to account for their conduct and decisions. No more repudiation, no more delay, no more litigation threats. Either settle this legitimate claim, you are about to face full parliamentary scrutiny. I am looking forward to the day that I'm going to see Mr. Adrian Gore, Mr. Jan van Reenen, Mr. Heinemann, the Ombud, all these people face to face without legal representation, man to man, eye to eye. The day is going to come. I'm working hard on it. I'm not giving up. And folks, if you still think Discovery is for you, good luck. This is what we have to put up with. I am not fighting for myself. I'm fighting for the underdogs. I'm fighting for every citizen of this country that has been prejudiced. Not only by Discovery, but I am fighting. My fight is with Discovery right now. But it is sure is busy expanding. I'm not going to give up. Mr. Adrian Gore, I know you're watching this. And in fact, I think we have, my last count was about 300 plus, or 500, I don't know, what's in the number, of Discovery's people watching my videos. Pretty sure that you watch them too. I heard you say, no, I don't. Okay. Yes, same applies to you, Mr. Rian van Renen, and same applies. The day is going to come that you're going to sit there and you will have to answer. You have to answer to Parliament. You'll also have to answer to God. Folks, please, I ask you, share this video. It's a lengthy one. Share it with everyone out there. It is important that we have to get the message out there. It could happen to you. It could happen to your mother. It could happen to your father. It could happen to your brother. It could happen to your sister. It could happen to your wife. It could happen to your children. The buck stops here. I thank you all. Chat soon.